the fourth wall.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for March the 12th, 2024. I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster at PW Hipster across the board, the Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook. Gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves and hop right into tonight's main event segment.
CJ Carter here, as always, at CJ Carter 22 on Twitter, and I'm very much looking forward to talking about tonight's NXT. I have a lot to say.
I guess I'll go. DJ Danny Ocean, Dirt Sheet Radio, 3T Wrestling, 101 point. I do stuff. Next.
You pointed the wrong way. Matthew Wilson, 3T Wrestling. You already see the background. You know what I'm saying? Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
There you go, John. Right there.
Yeah. See, I got it. Look, yeah.
Hasn't even been 5 minutes. The show's already off the rails. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, all right. So, guys, let's talk about this main event segment. The modern day Fabio, Trick Williams, locking lips. Like, this is, Gone with the Wind. This was epic.
That was wild.
This is cinema, gentlemen. Oh, my God. So, but we got to talk about Lash's acting here. That was over the top, beautiful wrestling. This was, Dusty Rhodes couldn't have booked it better himself, gentlemen. But what'd you think of tonight's main event segment?
First off, I'll say this. I never met Trick Williams a day in my life, but I owe that man an apology. I said this before. I would never have pictured Trick Williams as a main event player on NXT. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was always going to be the sidekick guy, but he proved me so wrong. So again, shout out Trick Williams. My apologies, my good brother. As far as that segment goes, the passion in that promo is like, "You are my brother." That was great. Where Noam Dar and Lash Legend, where Metaphor came for in the first place, that made no sense to me. I didn't need that. I didn't need that at all.
Completely.
But
it makes sense in the sense of like if they're trying to get Metaphor into something that is gonna segment Lash Legend away from the group, kind of like we were talking about how before we went live. I thought the promo itself was solid. Looking forward to seeing the match at Stand and Deliver, but to the point of the crowd reaction, it really emphasizes my point of how the world or the NXT title picture for Stand and Deliver should have ended with Trick Williams as the new champion. That guy is so over right now. It hurts. And they had a good story standing to just pivot into they could have had Ilya versus Carmelo as the plan for Stand and Deliver if he won the match against Tony last week, and then they get a way to shoehorn Trick in there. But I'm not against what they're doing with Tony D'Angelo and Ilya right now, or am I? I guess we'll talk about that later. But yeah, like it just really goes to show how they are getting closer and closer every day to dropping the ball on Trick Williams.
Now, just to interject with what you said as far as Trick leaving Stand and Deliver with the championship, if I feel like Melo should have beat Ilya for the title then and made it for the championship, because Melo is supposed to be on SmackDown right now anyway. So that would have been his blow-off match. Trick getting over at Stand and Deliver, Melo losing and moving on to bigger and better things. That
he's still gonna have a solid Stand and Deliver moment. My thing is the parallel with Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania. Like this is very well slated as NXT's WrestleMania. And so the fact that that match should happen at Stand and Deliver, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes, absolutely. But I also think Stand and Deliver is that perfect moment to crown your new guy if you decide to go that route, or if they decide to move Ilya to the main roster.
Now, do you think that there's a possibility that Trick is going to be called up sooner rather than later, and that's why this was shifted away from being a title match?
I think he's ready, but I think they're gonna go
He was over as hell when he was on SmackDown that night.
Right,
Like,
I
his
mean,
entire
still don't
eye
think he's
really
ready.
was.
I still don't
But I
think
mean,
he's
we've
ready.
kind of seen this pattern with a few guys. Like, we've talked about Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya, guys that we thought would have been on the main roster after last year's WrestleMania. So maybe that's a trend. Maybe they're just saying, hey, you're ready. We're going to spend the next year building you into a highly profitable talent so that when you get to the main roster, you already have so much momentum that can carry you into something. I mean, Braun Breaker is one half of the NXT tag titles right now, and he just absolutely destroyed what's his name on SmackDown
Dante Chen.
this past yes, Dante Chen.
Yeah.
He is like he's getting pushed to the moon once he leaves NXT. So I think that's what they're doing with Trick Williams. Like, this is going to be his year to get more momentum. Like, he's already got a train, but I think they want to overload that train.
Let me ask you this real quick. So, say Trick Williams does get called up, right? I don't see him in a ring with a Seth Rollins or Randy Orton or any of these guys right now. I feel like he would be stuck, like, not necessarily saying it's a bad thing to be fighting. Well, Riddick Moss is gone, but that's the first name that popped in my head. I don't know why. But
congrats
that
to
tier,
him, though, getting married recently.
Yeah, congrats to Riddick Moss on that. But that tier, you know what I mean? Like, could you legitimately see him, Sami Zayn, or somebody like that right now, or Logan Paul for the U.S. Championship right now?
Yeah, like a good mid-card guy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying main event level right away either. But it still has to feel like they're doing something productive. I mean, I will still go on rants about how the NXT talent from the most recent draft haven't lived up to that potential. Like, Bronson Reed is starting to, but even that, no, that wasn't this past draft.
No. He got let go.
Yeah,
and
he
then
came
brought
right
back
to the main roster when he got rehired. No,
Mhm.
that's right. You know what? I was thinking of Odyssey Jones. That's who I was thinking, because
I'm still lost
again
on that situation because he was good. Why has he not been on my TV yet?
As far as I can tell, he's not injured.
No, he's having matches at house shows and the Speed, the Twitter show they're coming out with.
Oh,
record matches for that.
So yeah, like I think they're starting to learn from their mistakes, and I think this would have been a great way to cap off the year of Trick Williams. But hey, a win at Stand and Deliver over Mello is gonna be a solid feather in the cap for him too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Danny on what he said though. Like, I don't think he's ready for the main roster yet, but I think the way they're booking him right now, like, if you look at the theme of WrestleMania right now, the theme of WrestleMania is what? The theme of WWE 2K24 is what? It's finished the story. The way they're booking it, it's like, okay, well, we see that Trick is super over, but we may not necessarily feel like he might be ready to carry the mantle of NXT yet by giving him the championship. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw Tony D'Angelo in there. Like, it's weird to me for Tony D'Angelo to kind of be in that match. I do kind of feel like Trick should be there. If anything, just have Trick lose or whatever. But the theme for WrestleMania is finish the story, so they're able to do that by having Trick just go ahead and finish the story with Melo, let Melo get called up to the main roster, and Trick could still be over as hell in NXT.
Oh yeah,
build that up, and then probably, if everything goes right, he could probably be up by SummerSlam, maybe, and relive that rivalry with Melo if as long as everything's going okay with Melo. I hope they're not like demoting him, because I haven't seen him on SmackDown in forever.
Exactly, at all. And that's what I was about to ask y'all too, about interject with that. What about Melo? Because I mean, Trick is going to win they got us in the, make the fans happy. I feel like,
without
but
question.
what does that do for Melo? Because again, his last showing on SmackDown was what when him and Austin Theory had the stoppage. That's a bad look.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean.
That's why I feel like
no,
he
they did have the. Sorry, they
go ahead. No, go ahead. You good.
Well, it was in and around that time. But I had mentioned this on one of the SmackDown rewinds before Melo turned on Trick. His character presentation wasn't aligning from NXT to SmackDown, but he was still a good guy. So for them to have him on SmackDown, they'd have to be like, okay, are we going to ignore are we going to ignore the NXT, still push him as a face? I think that was more like a soft call up, though. Like they're going to move him to the main roster after WrestleMania.
It's crazy. Like Melo's out there on SmackDown, and Trick comes that night before. Royal Rumble's like, "Get your ass back down here to NXT," and he did. He hadn't been back on SmackDown since.
Do y'all think the thing that happened with Austin Theory is the reason why he's back in NXT? Because
no, I don't think he got any heat from that. I think he it was an honest mistake.
Yeah. Jared, Tadarius, what's good, fellas? What's happening? OTR in the building.
What's good?
But all right, so gentlemen, anything else on the main event segment tonight, or shall we hop around to the front of the show?
I have a theory on the Nolan Dar thing.
Yeah.
You remember how he was the last time he lost the Heritage Cup? How he was like catatonic and depressed and everything like that. As a depressed guy myself, I know sometimes just to get out of depression, I do just whatever. That's what that segment. That's the first thing I thought about.
That's what
when I saw that segment. Like it was just like, because I didn't believe he was happy or whatever that he was over the Heritage Cup when that moment happened in backstage with before and all that. I didn't believe that. But as a person that's depressed, sometimes you just do stuff, and that's what I got from him coming out and messing with Trick.
I do have the question that I want to pose. What do we think is going to happen to Metaphor? Because I mean, we're talking about the future of the group, and if Lash does break away, and if Noam breaks away somehow, or any one of them decides they're going to go their separate ways, that's basically the end of the group. Do we see that happening?
Possibly. I mean, they can't be Meta 3 or Meta 2. It doesn't work.
Meta 2. That's hilarious.
Like, just,
fair.
I mean, possibly. It's hard to say what they're planning to do with Lash. Like, is this just a con from her side to, get Trick to drop his guard so they can, bust him up? Like, I don't know.
I don't think so. She seemed...
She seemed genuinely into it.
Pretty into that.
She touched her chest. She felt it. She felt it. We all felt it. It's a love like no other. This is, Romeo and Juliet. Like it's, Tristan and Isolde. It's, I'm running out of literary couples.
I think the word you're looking for is unnecessary.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh man,
I had gotten up to grab a drink before sitting down to set up for this. I come back and like the thing that I see is Lash Legend, and Trick Williams is holding her up, and I'm like, what the hell is this adult romance cover scene playing out in the ring here?
It's like the bodyguard. It's everything. It really is.
I can hear Whitney Houston in the background while he's doing this.
Fantastic. But we'll hop back around to the beginning of the show. We open tonight's program with OTM taking on the LWO. LWO is making their way to the ring and got jumped from behind by OTM. Pretty solid opening match. The LWO picks up the win here in just about 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Gents, what did you think of tonight's opening bout?
I was mad no Jada Parker at ringside. They dropped the ball on that.
Oh, God.
Where was Miss Jada?
Oh, God.
I'm going to say that first.
I agree. I was looking forward to Jada Parker when I realized they were having a match, but I will say this. This was probably their best match they've had in NXT so far. Because I kind of wrote them off a long time ago because they just never looked that impressive in the ring to me. But this match was fire. I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. And LWO shows out every time they come to NXT, man. They do some crazy shit every single match, and I absolutely love it. I love it.
Yeah, they definitely look like that. That was one of my notes when I was watching the match because I took notes. It looked like OTM's getting more comfortable in there. You know what I'm saying? Like they still look a little stiff in the ring, but it looks like they're getting more comfortable. I like the powerhouse thing. They're not really doing too much crazy stuff. They're sticking to the power. Sticking to power moves and things like that. But shout out to them for saving. Who was the one that jumped off the rope? Was it Joaquin Wild or was it Del Toro?
I think that was Wild. I saw that too. Like
when they ran forward
salute to them because they ran to save him.
They could have let him drop straight down. I think that.
Yeah.
Salute to them for saving that. So salute the scripts and them for that. But
that must have been like at least a good 6 feet off that they were expecting.
Yeah.
That's some professional.
And there was a great that one arm suplex from Nima off the turnbuckles too. That was fantastic.
I agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Barn burner of an opener, and again, it's what you expect. Like you were saying, like every time LWO is popping on in the NXT, you know you're going to get a really great match
every time.
And it got the crowd alive and ready for the rest of the show.
Yeah, it got me excited to see. Like, I wasn't feeling LWO for a while. It's been pretty stale to me at this point, but it did get me. It did get me excited to see what they're going to do with Elgato Fantasma future. Like, I want to see now if they can make that like a 6-man tag or whatever in between all of them. I'm down to see that now.
That's
like that match was able to open up the perspective for me on that.
Because LWO, Lowe's, what up, bro? Get your bars off podcast. What's happening? But LWO on the main roster. It's like every week it's the same people wrestling. It's Ray or what I want to call that man, Santiago. His name is not Santiago.
Santos Escobar.
Santos, yeah. He's just a cartel boss now, I guess. But it's always the same people fighting, and Cruz and Del Toro never really got a chance to showcase like that. And then Carlito came around. He's getting more matches than these guys. So I'm glad they got sent back to NXT to, because after they did that huge leap a couple weeks ago, they put that shit to SmackDown right afterwards because they were like, okay, I saw what y'all did down there. We need you now. Yeah. So shout out to them for going in there and doing it.
And it was still more impressive done on NXT.
Los, you are absolutely right. After the Creed brothers left NXT, that tag division has been lacking.
Which is unfortunate. Like, they had such a good tag team wrestling has never been stronger, I'd say, since NXT. I'll call it 3.0 has they've just really stepped up the quality of the tag team product. So yeah, I've said it for years that the LW, like Walking Wild, Cruz del Toro, they are an absolutely underrated tag team. The fact that they're getting a spotlight now in NXT is fantastic because they weren't getting it on SmackDown. Hopefully now that Rey Mysterio's back, they might get some time in. Yeah, the 6-man tag idea, I love that.
Yeah, because Humberto and Garza can go too. Like, I'm super excited for it now.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this in the Dirt Sheet chat the other day, but this WrestleMania 6-man tag ladder match. Imagine all these motherfuckers trying to get WrestleMania moments in a ladder match. This is going to be insane.
Yeah,
that might be able to take match of the weekend. I feel like
definitely potential. We'll see who makes it into the match. Speaking of the Creeds, I'm pretty sure they're going to make it into.
Oh yeah, ni hao.
All right. Yeah,
that's gangster.
but yeah, fantastic opener. But so moving on, we had a outside the building segment. Oba Femi heading into the through the parking lot, confronted by Brooks Jensen, and then security broke it up, and Josh tried to talk some sense into his buddy. Why would you try to jump Oba Femi in the parking lot? I wouldn't want to jump Oba Femi anywhere. I don't want to wrestle Oba Femi in a fair fight.
First and foremost, that NXT parking lot is the most dangerous place on the planet.
Jesus Christ,
and
man!
Don't you ever run up on a man that looks anything like Oba Femi in that said parking lot.
Unless you got Scott Hall's taser, that's.
He was cattle prodding people back in the day. Yo.
So no joke. So when I was a kid, I went to one WCW pay-per-view. It was sold out in Charleston, West Virginia, my hometown. Shout out West Virginia 304. But yeah, that was the Goldberg Scott Hall cattle prod ladder match.
Hilarious.
And it was awful.
Rob, what up, bro?
It was not a good match because Goldberg wasn't going to bump off that fucking ladder,
the Black Hummer. Yo, I forgot about that. Oh man.
Oh jeez,
that's funny.
But so quick just segment setting up for their match later tonight, and we had a backstage segment. Some Chase U action, got to get our Chase U fix in every week here on the NXT cast. I know, Soup, I'm sure you're out there watching, and I know how much you cherish and love these Chase U segments that we get every week. But gentlemen, what do you think of the segment? Thea Hale back in the fold completely with the Chase U, even using the music later tonight.
It would be dope if I had like a lot less of that on my TV.
But Andre Chase looks so well kept again now. He doesn't look like shit anymore. He looks good again.
I'm not a fan of those funny, some of them are like R-Truth gold, but some of these forced trying to be funny backstage segments and the love story segments, I'm good on.
Bottom high. Right? Bottom high.
Basically.
CJ, you're muted.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I feel like I'm being talked over. And then, of course, I can't hear myself in my headphones even when I'm not muted. So there's no way for me to tell. Anyways, I'm not going to press the mute button anymore. Maybe that will stop that from happening. I literally have it written in my notes. How's lining up that acting coach, Shawn? We talk about
every week.
And we talked about how Ava isn't the worst promo in NXT anymore. We'll talk more about who is later on.
Here in just a moment, actually.
But I mean, it just feels so flat and false, and why? Why can they not get people to teach someone how to act?
They had
that.
That. How do they not have one? How with the connections to Full Sail and everything
that's the one that's weird. That's the thing that's weird. It's the connection to Full Sail. That's the one that's weird. It's
goddamn theater director. There's got to be a high school. There's got to be a high school in the area. Get the theater director from the high school to give them rudimentary acting 1 classes like I took when I was 15 at Hilliard-Davidson High School. Shout out to Hilliard-Davidson High School. It's where Alexa Bliss went to high school too, just so you guys know. Not when I was there. 6 years after I graduated, Alexa Bliss was there. But
what are you talking about? You and Alexa Bliss look the exact same age.
Thanks. Thank you. That's so sweet.
Somewhere Alexa Bliss is just like...
She's like, that motherfucker looks 44 and I'm 38. So that's a real mean thing for Alexa Bliss to say about me.
Oh my god.
Sorry guys.
It's damn near disrespectful that we can go this long talking about how they need an acting coach and they still don't have one, obviously.
Yeah. So improv classes, anything, just get them something. But speaking of rough promos, we'll say that brings us to Roxanne Perez in the ring.
Shit was butt. Listen.
She explains her actions, gets in an argument with Ava, and oh my god, it was like, who wants to out awkward the other person on the mic the most? And what the hell was Ava wearing?
Garanimals.
Looking like a goth adult Chucky doll. Like, I don't know.
I will
Don't tell The
say
Rock
this.
I said that. He's gonna come after my ass.
I
don't
will
want Trey coming
say.
for me.
I will say this. Ava looked 1,000 times, sounded 1,000 times better on the microphone than Roxanne did tonight.
And there is improvement. There is improvement for Ava.
Ava is actually really good in this GM position. I feel like she's really good.
Yeah, she's been killing it.
But as far as Roxanne goes, granted she's only 22, she's still young, so she's still got plenty of time to improve. Mm-hmm. She's pretty good in the ring, but that promo work needs work.
Yeah,
like
work.
Especially Rihanna voice.
The passion's there. It's just not coming out well. Like it feels like it doesn't feel like they have changed tack on this on this heel character couple times already. Like we talked about how she was this petulant, childish, temper tantrumish heel, and now all of a sudden she's got this hateful edge, and it feels like they're realizing that this isn't working, and they're just throwing shit at the wall now to see if a heel Roxanne Perez actually works.
I mean, it is developmental, and it's kind of like maybe, drag her through all of the archetypes you can drag her through before we, figure out what we want to do with her long term. So, I mean, try stuff out, see how it works. I mean, this is almost kind of what you would have seen on a house show tour in the 80s. It's just the difference is we get to see it on live TV as opposed to, however many people in Pacoima watching it. It's that's the difference. It's like they're going to try stuff out. And it's like, I don't think this heel run's going to be long for her. She works much better as a face, clearly.
Yeah. And
but I'd say try it out. If you're going to try it out on NXT so you can figure out before she gets to the main roster.
A good heel never feels forced. And that feels extremely forced. A good heel, you just really feel like is an asshole in real life. Like, I don't like this fucking guy.
Yeah. She's just adorable. Like last time we were all on here, I tried my best to defend her. Y'all remember that? I tried my best. And then catching up on NXT, I saw what happened with Lyra last week. I'm like, oh, well, shit, here it goes. And then she comes out. She has the spotlight. She's in all black. Okay, she's full heel now. And then the promo, and it just lost it for me. So I
agree.
Can't come up here and defend her this week, man.
Now, I will say,
on the mic.
Bailey, I never expected Bailey to be able to turn heel either. But she did a good job. So maybe it takes just a little more time to find her stride or whatever. But right now, nah, that ain't it.
No, she works much, much better as a face for sure.
Also, can we talk about the revisionist history on Roxanne's title reign? Because they keep talking about how she didn't lose the championship. She did. She was in the ladder match. They credited her as the NXT Women's Champion. WWE's title history shows Roxanne Perez title reign ended April, 3rd, whatever the date was, and then Indy Hartwell starting that exact same day. She did not have the title removed from her. She lost it. Period.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling. They're gonna steamroll over things and hope you don't remember it quite that well.
I have a very vivid memory plus access to the internet.
Yeah, well, Shawn Michaels is going to do whatever he wants to do because he's the Heartbreak Kid. God damn it.
Because he's Shawn Michaels and he's earned that right.
That's right. He's got 2 words for you. Book it. No, it's a completely fair thing. You've actually, CJ, you've pointed that out a couple times before. This is not the first time that they've played this game with, that piece of her history as a wrestler and the end of her championship reign. Now, she was there.
I'm not afraid to call them out on it. I know I'm right.
CJ, not afraid to burn some bridges.
Bridges that don't even exist.
Speaking of
they are never going to knock on my door. I accept that.
You don't know that. It's a long drive from Florida up to the Canadian wilderness there, but they might do it. You don't know. Shawn probably knows the Mountie. He's only got to make one phone call.
The Mountie.
Okay, I've told this story before, but Shawn Michaels was actually hunting up north in a town where I lived for about 9 months, and I moved out west, and like less than 2 months after I left, I see posts on Facebook from locals talking about how Shawn Michaels was at that Walmart taking pictures with fans, and I'm like, I missed it. I literally lived a 10-minute walk from the Walmart where my apartment was. I could have met Shawn Michaels, and it just bums me
I don't
out.
know. I'd feel away if I'm in Walmart trying to buy like some apples and underwear, and people just like, "Hey, cheese."
Also, Shawn Michaels walks into a Canadian Walmart. Sounds like the setup for a joke. Like, it really does.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get stomped out by Bret Hart fans.
Yeah, good point.
Imagine running into Shawn Michaels in a Walmart completely randomly, and you're wearing a Bret Hart shirt.
Oh man,
Awkward.
throwing bees up.
He couldn't be that man.
Welcome to the North Side, homie.
Great white.
This
North.
was like 2016, so he and Bret had made up.
Oh, okay.
already.
Yeah, it was
Okay, yeah, okay.
Hatchet buried.
She was safe in those streets at that time.
But
Back in '99, if you would have gone to a WCW show with a
It's on
Shawn
site.
Michaels shirt.
it's war, man. It's a different time. But we had a segment with the family hanging out at their favorite Italian restaurant or the restaurant they own. I'm unclear on that. But regardless,
WWE Performance Center boardroom that makes the restaurant that they use.
hey, it's got the best gabagool in Florida. All right, so it's just fucking delicious.
Literally, hey, John, you got that picture of Shawn Michaels in the chef's hat? Like,
Shawn
I
cooks
swear
the
to God,
gabagool.
he cooks the gabagool, and then he cooks a quality NXT card.
Only Hunter, unfortunately.
The gabagoola. The family talking about the Don's upcoming NXT title match.
You. How dare you? It caught me so off guard.
That was good.
It even took a second to resonate what the connection was, because I'm just like, all right, that was a weird pronunciation, and then it just hit me. Oh my God.
Oh man.
That's just Tyler being Tyler. Yeah, he might have had a little stroke live on the air. It's okay, he's fine. But oh Jesus. But they were approached by Ilya Dragunov, and very quickly and very weirdly, he was taken away and shoved into a vehicle, and they drove off.
Yeah,
Bloodline, take notes.
It's kind of what happens when you roll up to a mob.
Yeah.
All right.
He's Russian though. Russia's got a mob.
Like we said before the show, he deserved that shit. You don't roll up to no mobster restaurant talking crazy.
Yeah,
What?
I got a little.
In Vince McMahon's NXT, we might have seen a Russian mafia tie with Dragunov.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. Like that was the first thought I had. Was like, oh, okay, Dragunov is. It's kind of like having a Russian mob boss with an Italian mob boss having like a sit down. So I got why they did it. I got an award for Ilya at the end of the show anyway. But
now Ilya, that was an incredible. The whole segment was great, by the way. But Ilya, he's a small guy compared to a Gunther. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
small dude compared to like a
lot of
moderately
people.
sized guy in NXT.
Right.
Like he's not a big man,
Mm-hmm.
But
bigger than me. But
the way he talks, the way he cuts his promos makes him believable.
Mhm.
And then of course his matches, the level of violence and physicality in his matches. But
Mm-hmm.
he is an incredible NXT champion. He's carrying that belt very well. I don't see Tony D'Angelo as that NXT champion right now, to be completely honest with you. But again, I love that promo. I love the segment between them two. It was great.
Yeah. To that point of just how brutal he is in the ring. And I know I mentioned this before we went live, but I gotta say it now. Nothing we've seen about Ilya Dragunov leads me to believe that Stax and Luca could fit him into a trunk and keep him there long enough to close it. And I know we talked about like, oh yeah, they probably just had a gun to his back, but it's like I would not. Like, it would not surprise me to find out that Ilya Dragunov is bulletproof. So it's I genuinely think they might just be like, okay, well, what do we do now?
Yeah. That's why they didn't show Arianna. She had the Thule on them.
Exactly.
When did mobsters start driving Hyundais? By the way, that's like
an electric one at that,
right? Like
when gas started getting outrageous.
Yeah, so like they're mobsters, but god damn it, they're environmentally conscious if nothing else. So should we since we are on this segment, should we just go ahead and talk about their other segment they had tonight?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
So as the folks saw, they kidnapped Dragunov, and then they made like James Brown and they took it to the bridge, as they say. And it was a bridge segment. It was very, again, over the top, kind of cartoony. Like we talk about Shawn doing this a lot. Shawn loves his vignettes.
Mm-hmm.
And because Shawn loved to do vignettes. Like if you look, especially that last DX run with him and Hunter, they did some wild out there, cartoony, goofy ass vignettes. I mean, like, come on, Little People's Court. Like they did some wild shit. So like when Shawn's got the book, he's going to write some goofy ass segments. And I feel like these aren't quite as goofy as Chase U, but they're not far behind.
I like that.
If we got a segment where Von Wagner fought those kids,
I know
with Shawn Michaels at the helm, like just that, and the Oscar goes to.
I'd have subscribed to Peacock to watch that.
Some of us don't have that luxury in Canada.
Oh man,
VPNs don't even work.
Network up there, right?
Well, we've oh god, it's gonna start me on a rant, but everything in WWE in Canada goes through Sportsnet, and I'm gonna leave it at that because holy shit. But and then everything will move to Netflix in Canada as well in 2025.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
But that speech that Tony D gave Ilya, like usually two people walk down here and only one person walks back. That speech was dope. I enjoyed that. It did make me actually okay. I was like, okay, I kind of want to see this match now. Because before I was like, why did Melo not win that? Or, why not make it a triple threat match? Because I didn't see Tony D in a championship match right now.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of here for it now.
Yeah.
He's great on the mic. Like,
he is.
Yeah, that's what all of that did for me. But at the same time, anytime I see a champion on the bridge, I feel like either the title or both of them are going to go over.
Something's going over.
Right? Something's going off the bridge if you're a champion and you're on the bridge. So that's what I was expecting.
Maybe they should throw that rainbow ass title over the bridge and bring back the old black and gold, the Big X.
Well, Tony Wednesday, there you go. Submit that to WWE. Right on the plug right there.
Book it, Shawn. But all right, that'll take us up to Lexis King taking on Mr. Stone. King picks up the victory here in about 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Just a quick victory for King and his perfectly manicured beard.
That beard is wild.
Felt like so much longer.
Yeah, that beard.
Like, I don't get why they're doing this to Lexis King. Like this role could have been to literally any heel, and they give it to Lexis King.
What
I don't get why
Why?
he chose a Dominican barber.
He was doing he was doing so well. Like
he had
who did,
so much momentum.
did
And
he like did he like piss in like Shawn's pancakes? Like
I mean, he was kind of weak in. I mean, his last few big matches, he looked kind of rough in the ring. Maybe it is to dial it back a little bit, brother. You need more time. You need more time to cook. Because he looked. Was it Mello?
If Maxine Dupree is going to continue to get TV matches,
Touche.
which to that point, I love seeing all the memes flying around of this is how I find out Max Dupree died.
yeah.
Yo, that's funny.
Oh.
But
Well,
I mean, yeah, like he
guess-
just deserves so much better than this. And like even just that last shot of Von Wagner carrying Robert Stone away, and that's the last
Yes.
shot we see. Like,
Wild.
why can't we just have Lexus King being Lexus King? Why does he have to be a prop in whatever Von Wagner?
Now, granted, I feel like this is setting up a match between Lexus and Von Wagner,
Yeah.
but that this was
I
unnecessary.
don't want to see that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
You were looking for a rebuttal and
I wanted to,
coming
but
up
I
with a
had
404 code.
I had nothing. We definitely don't want to see that shit.
Well,
Man, like I didn't like I liked Von Wagner when he started being a good guy and the tables thing and but then it just got old. Like
I liked him
I
after
wasn't
he got
into
his
Von
head crushed.
Wagner as a heel. I'm not really into Von Wagner now as a face, and I think they're just trying to see if there's any way to make Von Wagner work.
Actually, I really didn't start caring about Von Wagner until he got his head crushed by Braun Breaker. That's when I was like, okay, I hope he's good. I hope he's okay. That's to my extent of caring about Von Wagner, what he's got going on. Wasn't he on the main roster at one point, like Shane McMahon's bodyguard or something?
He showed up on a random episode of SmackDown in I think it was Adam Pearce's office, and it was just never explained why he was there. It was a one-time thing, and then no one ever talked about
That was the
it.
weirdest shit ever. Okay, I'm
Like,
not
I
just
just-
a weirdo. I thought that was fake for a minute.
No, I thought that was his call-up, and I'm pretty sure wasn't Von Wagner also called up as a free agent in the draft?
He was.
yeah.
He was.
And another guy that's literally hasn't done anything
needs
with it.
time
He's been
to
in
cook.
NXT the whole time.
He needs time to cook.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't see him versus anybody on the main roster.
No,
to be
no.
honest with you, the Miz maybe.
Well, because Miz will work with anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
You should.
That's true. But excuse me. But moving forward, we had a quick little recap of Logan Paul making the announcement that SummerSlam will be just a couple hours north of where I'm at here in Columbus. Will be up there in Cleveland, not too far, not too far away. So hey, maybe I'll try to make the trip up there. We'll see.
I really want to. God knows I'm thinking because I was like, I've never been to a Royal Rumble, and I already had WrestleMania tickets, so I got Rumble, Mania, and I want to do the Big Four this year. Because I feel like this is the only year I'll be able to do it because I got too much shit going on everywhere else.
Man, it kills me that I can't make money in the bank. Like, it is in my backyard, and I can't go. I'm going to have work
Oh, man.
commitments on the other side of the country.
I feel that.
Yeah. It's rough, but
It's-
what can you do?
But those are Eastern North Carolina. If I don't go, we're having the biggest watch party in Eastern North Carolina. So stay tuned.
Right on. But then we had
Getting
Kelly
to a
Kincaid.
table.
I'll do it. I will do it. Put me through a
I
table.
got suspended.
Let's get the
for giving-
footage.
I actually got suspended from school for giving somebody an elbow drop through a table one time. Quick story. And that table spot, those tables definitely break. Like those are fake.
This
I know
man
that
is
for a
a
fact.
menace.
Oh,
Fucking
God.
Dudley boy over here.
Yeah, man.
Jesus.
Say that was a little wild in school, man.
Oh, Jesus. All right, but then we had Kelly
Talking about second grade.
Third. Close. That was a good guess. Close.
7-year-olds don't really weigh enough to put through a table. 8-year-olds are a little bit bigger.
A little bit. Right? Oh, Jesus. But we had Kelly Kincaid interviewing Oba Femi backstage, asking about the confrontation out in the most dangerous parking lot. And he was confronted by Dijak, had a little glare and stare down there. We want to see if he has what it takes to be a real champion. So we're probably going to see some Dijak and Oba Femi in the future.
I want to talk about that line, a real champion, coming from Dijak, who has yet to hold a single championship. Meanwhile, Femi has been here for a cup of coffee, walked in day 4 as NXT North American champion. You're going to talk to this guy about championships? No. Like, I respect Dijak and the rebound he's kind of had in his career, but that line in particular, it did not sit well.
No.
Bro,
he
just got his name back. I mean, come on, man.
Right, true.
You just got your name back, dog.
But he's been like, I gotta join in on Dijak slander a little bit because it's fun. But he has been consistently putting on good matches.
Yeah.
Even before the whole T-bar bullshit. Keith, oh my God, the matches with Keith Lee, 5-star every time. Every time. Why do y'all think he hasn't been a champion even in NXT yet?
Still
not even a North American champion.
He absolutely should have been North American champion, if not NXT champion by now.
He should have been the one to dethrone Keith Lee, I feel like, back then.
Do. And then just go on a heel tear and nobody can touch him.
But he's incredible, but Oba Femi is going to put that boy down. Oba Femi's the future. I will stand by that.
Absolutely.
Without question.
I said this day one, as a matter of fact, when he won the breakout tournament. People were telling me, shout out to Von Casey. Shout out to Izzy, too. We don't care about Oba Femi. He ain't nobody. Yeah, all right. You see what's going on. My man, Oba. You don't get me started, because I
shouldn't let Danny up here now. He gloating. See,
that's right. I said what I said, and I stood on business.
I respect it, though.
I mean, we've been on the Oba Femi train since day one too, Tyler?
Oh yeah, we have. We here on the show we have been Oba feminists since the very beginning there. Hey, that's a better nickname. That's a better nickname than the whole Lexus King thing. Like there was a hot moment. The registered Lex offenders. That was
terrible.
Yeah, that didn't go well very quick. That's why he's being booked this way. It's because of the registered Lex offenders. That's what happened.
He better get sent.
That wasn't his idea, though.
Hey,
you can't blame a guy for.
But I will say this about Oba Femi: they gotta stop. Every large, dark-skinned black dude is not from Wakanda. They got to stop those chants. That's don't do that.
Yeah, I definitely was like, I don't like. Is that the Black Panther chants?
Yeah, it was. I noticed it tonight. Yeah, it was.
Ibombe, all of that shit. Come on, don't do that, bro. That man is not M'Baku.
No. But had a backstage segment real quick there with Rich Holland working out in the weight room, talking to his family, and wow, I didn't care because I don't give a fuck about Rich Holland.
Yo, my note was meh. Nice to know that he has a loving wife and a daughter. Let's still continue to not give a shit.
Well, was the match next right after that segment, or
no? Next we have we'll be heading into Oba Femi and Brooks Jensen.
Okay, we'll talk about we'll get further to Ridge Holland thing, but I definitely want to talk about Ridge Holland.
All right,
but it all would lead into the match too. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but we can go ahead and hop into Oba Femi and Brooks Jensen. Predictably, Oba picks up the win here to retain the North American Championship in 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Another good, powerful showing here for Oba Femi. Proving again, like Danny, you were saying, this dude is the future. Like, he is going to be big in this company for the next probably 15, 20 years, easy.
About a solid 6 or 7 minutes longer than I thought that match would go.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a squash match too.
Yeah, that was surprising more because I
again had a commercial break.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be Jensen more than I figured he was going to get. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I don't like the story with them.
I thought it was an interesting twist to have Briggs at ringside. And sorry, Matthew, was that you that said you didn't like the story?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, I heard someone say that they didn't.
I was just saying I don't like the story between them. Like,
oh, it was Danny.
He came ringside. He came ringside to be like, "Hey, stop being a bitch and fight." Like,
well, yeah,
dude,
and he was trying to stop him from having a match anyway. You know what I think that was though, because remember there was a segment where Dijak told him, "Yo, you're not being a good friend, letting him wrestle Oba Femi." Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think him coming to ringside, Briggs coming to ringside, was kind of just like a guilty conscience, I guess.
Okay,
because you saw it in his face when he got to ringside. He was like,
"Yeah,
man, my boy out here getting cooked." I kind of should have done more.
But I thought they were splitting them up in the singles. I thought that was the point of it all.
Right.
I think this heel Josh Briggs isn't working either. And I think this is going to be his pivot to getting back on a face tack to himself challenge Oba Femi. And because they established him a lot better than they did Brooks Jensen, I feel like he would be a better challenge for Oba Femi. He's still going to lose, but it'll be a good match.
At this point, I just wonder if he's going to go heel, he has to beat the dog shit out of Brooks Jensen after a match or something one night. If he's going to be heel, just go full heel, dog.
That might be happening because Brooks wasn't listening to him at all. So that might be actually what's next.
Yeah. But again, it's solid match. Just again furthering the story with Jensen again. And CJ, you're right. The heel turn really wasn't getting the kind of traction I think they were hoping it was going to get, which is a little surprising. Because I thought he'd be able to pull off the brash mean guy. The more bikery outfits look kind of goofy. I'm not going to lie. It looks like he's like, at a Sons of Anarchy convention or something. But I'm not going to tell him that.
Oh, yeah. I will, and I'll record myself doing it. And if he slaps me, I'll post it on the internet and get him canceled. No, it's all my elaborate plan. No, I think it was like he does it well. I think they just looked at their landscape and was like, because it felt like they were pushing Femi as a face up until he fought Dragon Lee, and then even after that match, it felt like they were gonna turn him back face again, and now they're flopping again. So maybe they looked at the landscape of their roster and was like, okay, you work better as a heel, you work better as a face, we're just going to roll with that. So it might just be maybe we'll turn you down the road, but right now we need you to be a good guy.
Well, in that sense, what the hell is Ilya and what the hell is Tony D?
Two good guys that have to do bad things from time to time.
I don't know. I guess Tony D would be the heel in this because he's just threatened to murder him. So.
Right.
And he has been talking about his big changes too, and I don't think we've seen the end of the implementation of those changes. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Maybe we'll see some more heelish behavior. And if we do, I don't know how the family might react. Because if it's just Tony on his own doing something, and the family tries to rein him in, maybe that's where we see Tony go off on his own.
Well, the family just got 2 new members. I don't see them splitting up anytime soon.
Yeah, got the concierge. That's what the concierge is for. He's the one that just.
Well, yeah, but then so you just find a new anchor for the family, you can call it, or whoever takes over for D'Angelo after he moves on.
Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore.
That would be fire, though. I'm not
I'm
going to
telling
hold you. I
you.
will be here
I'm
for that.
telling you. That's must-see TV.
Bada boom. Bada boom. Oh, and kind of semi-related. Why don't they update Dragunov's like card, like for like when they're talking about him, like in his upcoming match or appearance? Like the man's had a beard for a long time, but he's been cleanly shaven in his promo card for since they took it.
That's
like,
a good
come on,
point.
like this ain't hard to update. Like it's 2024. You have a lot of pictures of
his 2K24 pictures even got the beard and whatnot.
See,
too.
what the fuck? Like, damn it, Shawn.
Maybe that's another indication that Tony's gonna win at Stand and Deliver. They're just like, why bother taking another photo? He's just gonna lose it.
I do it.
Arvin, we are lit at Mania next month, brother.
But we had Arianna, Grace, and Gigi Dolin. And if Grace wins, Dolin had to become her protege. And Arianna Grace does win here by DQ after a low blow. There it is. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I can and can't say on live air, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Twat shot were the words that came out of the wife's mouth. There we are. Gonna punch you right there, right in the ovary. Bam.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that never made. And that happened again recently on a WWE programming, if I'm not mistaken, a low blow, like a Raw or SmackDown or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
It was a couple months ago. I don't remember offhand exactly who was involved.
But why?
Right.
Why are we getting lady low blows?
Lady
what,
low blow.
What are they
That's
hitting?
That is the greatest indie gimmick of all time. Lady low blows.
Lady low blows. I mean, it feels like they just wanted one more outlandish finish to a match just to be like, oh yeah, we had a match that ended this way.
That's a waste of time on my television is what that was.
Well, and so now she's got to be her protege. So it's, they had some ideas that they didn't get to use for the Fallon Henley Tiffany Stratton vignette. So they're going to, move him over to this and kind of like rework him a little bit.
Rehashed. Yeah.
Man, I was hoping we were past that and could just never speak of it again. And we just haven't learned that lesson.
No. And so that's how that match happened, ladies and gentlemen out there. That's what happened tonight. So
we even had Vic Joseph on commentary say a low blow is a low blow. No, that's not the point. The point is the pain. Yeah, like what was that that video that I saw shared of Matt Cardona at the indie show? He was wrestling a woman I can't remember, or I don't know her name, but he kept trying to like forearm, and he nothing was happening at all. So he was like freaking out, and then of course she low blowed him, and I'm just like, what was the oversell on that reaction, by the way? Like,
oh my goodness, I'm not a fan of that type. That it's just stupid. Honestly,
I mean, they did that angle best on King of the Hill forever ago when Bobby figured out that he could kick Hank in the nuts and get one up on his old man, and he tried it with Peggy and it didn't work. And I believe her exact response was, "That's right, Bobby. You'll find that I have no testicles." So I mean, they did it. It happened then. This is, they did it way better in Arlen, Texas, back in the day.
I'll tell you, I can understand like getting disqualified for it, but I can't understand selling it. What are you selling?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
you
in the ovary.
Right in the ovary. Bam, give it a black
eye. That is not an image you want floating around the internet. Like,
no.
That is a Photoshop master's palette.
Yeah, the internet's a harsh, dark wasteland, folks, and that picture is going to be drug through the mud. But moving on, we had a quick backstage segment with Carmen Petrovic and Sol Ruca, who made her return last week.
Welcome back, Sol.
Welcome back.
Sol
welcome
Ruca.
back. But gentlemen, what do you think of this quick segment back there?
I actually missed this. I don't remember this at all.
It was good to see Sol Ruca backstage and talking about it too. Like they addressed it was 10 months off. Like I think this was just one of those segments to reintroduce her and throw in, oh yeah, you've been gone a while. Here's some new faces that could also use some TV time. And it doesn't do anything for, like, these segments don't do anything for me because I'm a regular viewer. Like I know who all these people are and I already have my preformed opinions of them. So I don't need to be reminded of them. I know exactly who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave Brenda Lee Reese the opportunity to cartwheel into a segment.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
Part. But I'm happy to see Sol Ruca back because she was one of my favorite newer women's wrestlers in NXT next to Tiffany Stratton. So when she got injured, I felt like the women's roster NXT felt that loss. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm happy she's back. She cooks.
Absolutely. One of the most talented talent, hands down, that they have in NXT, male and female.
Absolutely. But alrighty, let's see. So, sorry, lost my place in my notes there. All right, so coming up next, we had Kiana James and Izzy Dame taking on Thea Hale, and ended up being Fallon Henley as her partner. That wasn't the plan going in. It was supposed to be Kalani Jordan, but Kalani was jumped backstage, shown clutching her knee in pain, and
hey, what's going on with that caption?
What happened?
Sorry, I was lost in the
sauce.
The lineup on the title. I don't know if John pulled it because he was fixing it, but no, I thought it was it was a good match. Always good to see Fallon Henley. I thought the finish was fantastic. Like that is the kind of oddball finish that I appreciate seeing. And the promo from Thea afterwards was it was a promo.
She made facial expressions.
Yes.
She overacts.
2 or 3 of them.
I feel like.
Yeah, that felt a little forced. The promo at the end felt a little forced.
Yeah,
it was a good match though. Fallon Henley impressed the hell out of me in that match. I wasn't necessarily a fan before, but she did a damn good job in that match. It was great. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that Thea promo was mid.
Acting coach.
Yeah, we're going to say it again and again. But it did, show her, short-lived alliance with Grace there ending, and it was, it was kind of, not as climactic as I expected that to be. It's like, she came in, basically, did the calendars for Chase U, and Save Chase U is making the money off them, and she just bounced. Like she didn't really do anything that dastardly. Like.
No, but it was the compounding not being there when she needed a partner and hanging out without her, and I've been the friend that's been kind of taken advantage of before, and it struck a chord with me to see her standing out on her own. So it resonated with me, and bravo to Thea for doing that. But just the delivery still felt weird, and I don't know how to phrase it differently. It just it felt genuine, but it felt off. And that was in my notes about the bridge segment too. Something about a lot of these segments just feel off, and I haven't been able to really pinpoint what's off about them yet. I don't know if there's a sentiment that anyone can kind of pick up what I'm putting down.
Well,
I just think it's
the acting is the bad. It's just that's the biggest issue we got here. I mean, the bridge segment to me, honestly, was the best segment of the night. To me. But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the acting.
But it's still
the
something
other
felt
segments
off
are
about
like,
it.
yeah.
My biggest issue here is just like putting her right back in to Chase U. Like I feel like I don't think anyone's super big on Chase U. But like I just felt like it was nice having Thea kind of moved away from that umbrella. Now they're using the music again and all that. I kind of wish they just do something a little bit different with her, other than just a continued alliance with Chase U, which is just kind of an albatross at this point.
Yeah.
Or even if they decided, or even if they wanted to have Thea realign with Chase U, like Riley Osborne is a great example of how a Chase U student can still be a person of their own accord. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but this is definitely a massive step backwards for Thea Hale. She should be finding her own person and still wave the Chase U flag, but this is not it.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And that was
solid agreement.
Yeah, that was Ziggy. Ziggy also agrees there.
I work at an animal shelter, so I speak cat. That was perfect. I agree with CJ.
Cat said, "Oh God."
You got Ziggy on your side, man, without question.
We need more of those kitty ad libs. You can make that happen.
That was perfect, bro.
She's the most talkative one out of the cats in the house for sure.
Ziggy just shows up on her own screen talking about NXT.
If she can sit still long enough, that'd be pretty adorable. Get little headphones for her, that'd be fantastic. She
sounds like she likes the idea.
She's on board. You on board with that, Ziggy? Yeah.
She wants her moment of fame now.
It's a skyrocket. The numbers will just blast up with Ziggy on the stick here. So after the match show, after Thea's promo, cut backstage, and Riley was watching from the locker room, looking pleased as punch that his friend was feeling her old self, and he was approached by the No Quarter Catch crew, which I love saying No Quarter Catch crew. I will say No Quarter Catch crew as many times as I can in one conversation because No Quarter Catch crew is fun to say. But they approached him and gave him some shit and mocked him. Just kind of setting up for a future match here. I like the No Quarter Catch crew with the Heritage Cup. It's kind of the free bird rule on every defense of it. It'll be a fun thing to see what they do with it going forward.
I do like the no quarter catch crew rule or whatever you want to call it.
No quarter catch crew.
I like the rule of anybody can defend the Heritage Cup. To be completely honest, I just don't care for the Heritage Cup matches. It's just that 3-minute round or whatever it is, the 2-minute rounds, whatever. Not a fan. It's different. That's perfect. Different is good, but I just don't care for it.
Yeah. It's a European style thing, right?
Yeah.
British round style wrestling. It worked better when it was in NXT UK. I think they're really just keeping it around until NXT Europe takes off, and then they'll move it back over there. But I don't mind round style, but it feels like Noam Dar just wasn't doing anything with it. So I hope Charlie Dempsey is able to do something with it. I do also love the concept of the catch clause and that anyone can jump in. I'm sure if they do win the tag titles, then that'll be the same deal.
Which, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing them with the tag titles as well. That'd be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm a fan of the No Quarter Catch crew.
Me too. I agree. Damon Kemp, I feel like is so slept on, man. He has great matches. Like he's good in ring. Yeah. He's good as way better than his brother.
Well, that's a pretty low bar, though.
It's crazy how he caught on so much faster than Gable. It's insane.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. Like I think Gable hooked on more to amateur wrestling, and Damon latched on better to pro wrestling. That's just how she goes sometimes. I'd same deal with, I'd say, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. You know, Shayna was perfectly legitimate in the octagon, but she really, I think, has taken off more in wrestling than she would have in MMA. Whereas Ronda Rousey didn't really take off in wrestling because it didn't feel like she really cared about wrestling and just wanted the paycheck.
Right.
Kind of a random ramble, but
hey, that's what the post-show rewinds are built on. That's what we do here, guys. But we'll we got the another quick segment. Just showcasing the number of tag teams that are really in the NXT tag team division. But then we have the Good Brothers, which are down in the NXT sphere down there. A quick little backstage segment back there, gentlemen. Anything on that segment?
Well, first off, they don't belong in NXT, but
I mean, they weren't doing anything up on the main.
That's what I'm saying. It's disrespectful that they weren't
on the main roster,
right. It's disrespectful that they weren't getting any matches on the main roster, in my opinion. But if they're not being used on the main roster, then yes, absolutely, by all means, have them in NXT. Those guys are great in ring and they cut incredible promos. They should be utilized a lot more on that main roster. I don't
Danny,
understand that.
We're gonna circle back to this point once we know the landscape of the 6-team ladder match at WrestleMania, and I want to know which team in that layout you would swap out for Gallows and Anderson.
To be honest with you, I love them to death, but the Street Profits, because they're not doing shit right now. Do you feel like they earned a spot in that match? Like what they've been doing for the last year, that they earned a WrestleMania match? Granted, the Good Brothers didn't either, but they didn't get an opportunity, I feel like.
And to be fair about the run that they're on right now, it did have a rocky start because they didn't have good footing as heels. They only really took off when they turned at Tribute to the Troops. So I get it's been slow, and their first hallmark feud with Karrion Kross and the AOP
getting smoked every week.
Yeah, and I mean, not a great look, but the Street Profits already have such a swell behind whatever it is.
And that's why they're going to be in that match and not the Good Brothers.
No,
because they got a good they got a fan base. They sell T-shirts. They're still popular. You know, the Hulu show. Go watch right now. Loving WWE. But
now,
I wouldn't mind seeing fucking Luke Gallows in a love show on Hulu. Why can't Carl Anderson have his show? He's got like 8 kids,
separate shows.
Right, his hot Asian wife. I'd love to see Carl Anderson's hot Asian wife on Hulu. I'm just saying.
But fuck, I had a point that I was gonna make, and then we got talking about
Carl Anderson's hot Asian wife.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If it comes back to me, I will. I've done it before. I'll just blurt it out.
But give the Good Brothers a shot. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, if they're not going to be used on the main roster, definitely let them cook in NXT.
Yeah. That's what it was. What it was, like, they're just a victim of bad timing. Like, the fact that they decided to break up the OC at the same time AJ Styles was heading into a feud with LA Knight, and then not capitalizing on Styles slapping Anderson in the locker room. They deserved better. Like, it felt like they were headed that direction. I mean,
you can't tell me.
And then all of a sudden,
when we're getting Ashanti the Adonis and who is he teaming with?
Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, we're getting promos from them. Like, I mean, both of those guys. Well, both of those guys are great in my opinion. But I want to see promos from
out of the two teams to send down to NXT.
Not on right. Let them go to NXT. Yeah. That's my point. Good Brothers deserve better.
No, and I totally agree with that as well. I think if it does come out of, like, if something good does come out of this NXT run for the Good Brothers, I can look back on this and be like, all right, well, it was worth it then. But, at the same time, like you said, we're building towards WrestleMania. Why not throw them in the ladder match?
I agree.
Doesn't
Give
make
him a
sense.
moment. What did you bring him back for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Because AJ said so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my friend's back.
Yeah. I was just happy
We
to
can't
see, I was
have
just happy to see,
their last image being thrown off a roof by the Undertaker.
I mean, there are worse last images in professional wrestling.
Very true.
Better a roof by the Undertaker than a dump truck by a McMahon.
Oh God.
Sorry, Eric Bischoff. I'm sorry, man.
That did happen.
Yeah,
That is some evil shit. Vince is
it
a
sure
bad
did.
man.
Or how'd Vicky Guerrero go out? What'd she get covered in? Was it pudding or gravy or something? Like
Something like that.
Oh man.
Thank you, Ziggy. Yeah. But so
Order that kitty mic on Amazon, and hopefully it'll be here for next week's show.
Right, I hope so. We'll find out. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But that'll move us into tonight's main event, if you can call it that. Ridge Holland,
Absolutely a main
Shawn
event.
Spears. A main event in this building.
Absolutely a main event. I really enjoyed this match, yo. I enjoyed every piece of this match, every bit of storytelling, everything about it. And this was where I go back to that phone call with his wife, where he was like, or she's like, look, don't lose your head, don't go too crazy tonight. You know what I'm saying? About him going into this rage, because when he rages out, he hurts people, including himself, so on and so forth. That's the story we're building here. So we get into the match. Shawn Spears is telling him, let it go. Do it. You should have done it. You should have fucking lawn darted me into the ring post and murdered me, possibly. You should have done that. But then when he lost it, he beat the absolute hell out of Shawn Spears. But then he got sloppy and he lost, he ended up losing the match. But that storytelling right there created a whole new character and a whole new respect for Ridge to me. Ken Shamrock back in the day, when he snaps, he snaps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for that. And Shawn Spears building him up to that could be his weapon going forward. You know what I'm saying? He's controlling him, go get him. Let that shit out on him. You know what I mean? I'm here for that if they go that route. But I feel like that's what they're building to. Because if he unlocked that rage tonight and he went absolutely insane, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, man. Because I had nothing go. I was gonna actually ask y'all, where does Ridge Holland go from here? Who cares about Ridge Holland? But this story,
that's the same question we've been asking since
first. I'm telling you, that was my first thought. Who cares to see him on the main roster? Who cares to see him on NXT? But now I'm locked in on Ridge Holland, and that's insane that I'm saying this out loud.
Yeah, I'd keep him with Shawn Spears, man. That's what I was going to come on the show and question and be like, do y'all think that Shawn Spears is just going to be not a mentor, but you know what I'm saying?
I'm here for that, because
I think that would be the perfect role for him, because I didn't really care about Ridge Holland. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this angle that he got with Shawn Spears, unless this is just who Shawn Spears' character is that kind of the Bray Wyatt Fiend in a way, and that's who Shawn Spears is going to be. But I would just keep Ridge Holland with Shawn Spears. I think Ridge should have went a little bit more crazy though. I would have liked him to not let the refs stop him, right? And then just totally go ape shit. I would have loved to see that. You know what I'm saying? That would have really got me more invested in the storyline. But for now, just keep this Ridge and Shawn Spears thing going, and we'll see if they get a match at Stand and Deliver, possibly. Maybe that's where it's going to.
I'm interested, 110%.
Full disclosure, about right before the first commercial break, I started having internet problems, and by the time I had them resolved, the match was over. So I have not seen
the match
was great of this match. Basically my notes had summarized that Shawn Spears coming out in his entrance looked like Jason Voorhees if he were a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
He needs to lose that dumbass mask, man. That was so pointless.
like it's not working.
No.
Like if it's a mask you want, just do better. That Jason Voorhees stuff isn't.
I'm just glad he's not doing
working.
the 10 thing anymore.
Not a fan of the 10?
I never liked the 10. I didn't like the 10 when he was I didn't like it when he was in WWE his first stint. Didn't like that it carried over to AEW. Yeah, I never liked it. I've never been a big Shawn Spears guy. Like
I liked the 10.
I thought it was great.
I did. I fucked with the chant. It was pretty dope.
Royal Rumbles coming out at number 10.
Yeah. It was one of the things where just like it's too cute by like 3 points, when they would do that for him. But I don't know. I guess it was no different than back in the day when there was, I think there were a few Rumbles.
Oh man.
Well,
yeah, man. Shawn's, because I feel like Shawn Spears really doesn't. Is he really needed in an in-ring role in NXT? Do you feel like? Like, are we going to turn NXT every week to see a Shawn Spears match?
I mean, I'm not personally, but
I mean, he's not bad. Grant, I'm saying he's not bad in ring, nothing like that by any means. He's great, but I don't know. I
see what you're saying.
But I feel like he would be I feel like he would be in a much better role as just like a heel with a weapon with Ridge Holland. Like you're controlling Ridge Holland and his rage and all that. I think that would be better. It'll make Ridge look good in the ring, and it'll put Shawn Spears over as a heel.
And they can absolutely do that for sure. I think this is an indication of what our landscape is going to be looking like post WrestleMania and what talent are going to be staying and which talents are going to be getting called up. The fact that they're bringing Shawn Spears down to NXT indicates to me that we're going to be losing a lot of the heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true.
I think there is a solid chance that Dragunov loses the title because he's going to wind up on Raw 2 nights later.
But then again, at the same time, we also thought that about Braun Breaker last year too, and he just now got called up to SmackDown.
That's true.
Quite a few people.
That's what I mean. Like he had his banner year in NXT. What a way to go out, and with a full head of momentum heading into whatever comes next on the main roster.
Mind you, the draft I believe is in May again this year.
Have they announced it?
They haven't announced it, but it's in May last year. So, I mean, if we're getting it again, a repeat.
Yeah, like I know it's usually after WrestleMania and before Money in the Bank.
Let's see. I'm trying to use the wiles of the internet. Yes, it was the 2023 draft was the May 8th episode of Raw. So yeah, it was first week of May there. So probably be about the same time of year this year.
Random question: who would y'all want to see get called up from NXT to the main roster? Who's ready? Do you feel like?
Ilya,
hands
down. He is the guy that is like. I would say if they wanted to make a big splash, he could challenge Gunther. If they wanted to make a bigger splash,
just about to say that
he could win.
Yeah,
let him be Gunther.
Yep.
Let him be Gunther. Mm-hmm. That instantly makes him a monster.
And I would love to see Gunther Dragunov 3. Not Walter 1 and 2, whatever. But, Gunther Dragunov is a certified classic every time they get in the ring. So why wouldn't you want to have that match?
What if he took over Imperium from Gunther?
Oh,
that would be interesting.
Cinema,
because I don't think he would join Imperium.
Hire me, Triple H.
I don't see him as a lackey.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Beat Gunther and take Imperium.
Yeah. No, I see
was
that.
Treating him like shit for a while, so that does make sense. I would have it that way.
And who knows if
Gunther.
Well, and if all it takes is Ilya taking the title off Gunther for Imperium to crumble, then maybe they weren't as solid a faction as we thought they were.
Well, we've seen cracks throughout the
There's
year. With them,
definitely
for sure.
some fissures, some fissures for sure.
Mhm.
But gentlemen, that's NXT in a nutshell. Anything else on the main show, or shall we hop into our jobbers and megastars of the night?
Let's get into it.
All right. So, jobbers of the night, gentlemen. I'm going to go with Ms. Roxanne Perez as the jobber of the night this evening. I'm a fan of Roxanne. I like her. I think she's good in the ring. I'm a supporter. I like her. I like Roxanne Perez. But holy hell, this heel turn is not working. They need to just, cut line, change, flip back, figure something out, get a logical conclusion, sure, whatever. But she ain't working as a heel. The promos aren't coming across as sincere or believable. I'll say her in-ring work has translated reasonably well into being a heel. She was, still using pop rocks there for a couple weeks. Then it was using pop rocks into the crossface. Then it was just using the crossface. So it's she was getting rid of an exciting move. And that's something that you should do as a heel. So kudos to that. But the promos aren't working. But so my apologies to Ms. Perez, but Roxanne Perez is my heel, or my jobber of the night.
I'm gonna go with. I know she won the match, but Arianna Grace has to be my jobber of the night, solely for. Let's see it, John. There we go. That is internet bait on a level that is unacceptable for an internationally broadcasted show with millions of viewers in 2024. There's just no logical sense.
It's like the closing shot from Sleepaway Camp.
It's just I can't I'm done. That's my job right. Man, I'm so done.
That every participant in that match is my jobber of the night.
Even the ref. Even the ref.
Because he called the match. What are you calling it for, bro? What did she hit her in? What did she hit?
Ovary.
Come on, man. You can't forearm somebody in the ovaries, dog. I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. That is not how the ladies' bodies work.
No, the impact. You see, it's the impact, and there's movement of air.
It rattled the ovaries.
It's like like Doink used to do that move where he would clap his hands on somebody's ear. It's like that. And the physics make sense if I'm about to get canceled.
That was just a dumbass finish to me, to just a match that didn't really matter to me anyway, to be honest with you. Yeah. So that whole entanglement is genre tonight for me.
And then we have to deal with more pre-recorded segments next week.
Well, I'll preface this earlier, but my jobber of the night, as awesome as he is, and as gangster as it was, roll up. My job of the night is Ilya, bro. I'm sorry. You don't go see You don't know. You don't go see. Yo, you don't go see a mob boss alone. What are you doing? I don't do that.
That was a terrible decision.
What did you think was going to happen? I don't.
And to talk the way he was talking to that man with all his people standing around him.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, anybody here fans of Boondocks? You remember the Raleigh episode where he was selling chocolate? And the dude was like, let me get this with a set of this. And then it was that's what it reminded me of. Bro, Ilya, come on now. So Ilya was my job of the night just for that, man. I don't think that was the smartest move, man. He could have thrown you off a bridge, man.
Me leaving.
What did you think was going to happen? Man?
Oh man,
that's just me leaving the Olive Garden the way God intended.
Hey, they shouldn't say all you can eat breadsticks if it ain't all you can eat breadsticks.
That's right. Thought you said we were family when I'm here. Now drive me to the airport. All right.
At 3 a.m.
Right. It was a cheaper flight. It's the red eye. Come on, man. I'm just trying to save some money in this economy. But yeah, but fantastic choice for that reason, though. The logic is sound, sir. The logic is sound.
Can't argue.
But all right, so that will take us into our megastar of the night. And who would like to start with their megastar this evening?
You know what? I'll set it off because I would probably never say these words again. But Ridge Holland was my megastar of the night. Ridge Holland was actually it was an incredible match. He looked like an absolute monster. He looked like an absolute monster to me. And it just made his character, his in-ring ability just stand out times 10. Megastar of the night for me, Ridge Holland.
Fair enough.
I'll go next. My megastar of the night was Trick Williams, man. Like, regardless of the funny stuff at the end, like the swooning the girl stuff, his promo was actually really impactful to me. Like, I remember I was getting ready for the show, and when he started talking, it's one of them promos where you ever have a promo where you're doing something else, but then all of a sudden it just make you like sit down and listen. Oh, okay, Trick, you on your game tonight. Like, it made me it made it more believable that Melo really hurt him, even though you could kind of like see it coming. You know what I'm saying? And I think he did too. But the promo to me put Trick in another level that made me realize that he actually may be ready to hold the NXT title, regardless of what I said earlier. I feel like the company may feel that way. I don't. I think Trick is next. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody that's coming back to NXT who haven't been watching for a long time, who's looking for the next star. Trick proved it for me tonight, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Without question, yeah.
I had been trying to find a superstar that wasn't Oba Femi, and it just didn't work out. I got
all right, me and you both, CJ. Me and you both, brother.
Like we knew that he was going to make a statement. We knew that Jensen was not going to walk out of that match of his own volition, but the intensity, like the power that man has.
With Briggs looking on, sending an absolute message with that power.
Over and over again to finish the match. My God, the brutality. He is a megastar just by going out and doing his thing. He is a megastar in every sense of the word, and he's my megastar of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, CJ, I'm right there with you. Oba, I struggled. I was going to say, I want to choose someone that's not Oba, but I was going with Oba tonight as well. Yeah, he looks like $1 million every time he's out there, every time he talks into a microphone, solo, being interviewed, it doesn't matter. The dude has that X factor. It's kind of like, you were saying about, Trick, like when he talks, you want to listen. Mm-hmm. And Oba's got that. He's got that command of an audience, that X factor, that charisma. And, to talk, quote Enzo, you can't teach that. Like, that's just, you got that or you don't.
He said something the other day, don't sit anybody you want back, or something like that. Yeah. That was the hardest shit I've ever heard in wrestling, bro. But, to be as new as he is, too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like he's been wrestling for 10 years on the indie scene or nothing like that. He's new at this.
Yep.
And he's killing it.
Like, literally just the breakout tournament and then NXT champion.
Boom.
That's insane.
Like, meteoric, to say the least. Like, yeah, he's gonna do big things, and he's gonna do them fast. This is
WWE speed run any percent.
Oh God!
Sorry, I don't know what you guys were laughing at because you were laughing before I started talking.
Jeez.
I hate Danny. I really do. I hate Danny.
I didn't even do nothing, yo.
Oh, Jesus.
I got tears in my eyes. Oh, God.
Well, gents, Since it has been a wonderful, wonderful evening of NXT discussion and talk, let's tell the good folks that watch us live and the good folks that watch us on delay, or however you watch us or listen, whatever you do, even if you're driving, whatever. Just don't look at the screen while you're driving. That's the thing. But gentlemen, tell the good folks at home where they can find you, where they'll see you next, and what you got coming up the pike.
Catch us on 3NT Wrestling, me and Matthew over this side whenever we come back over there. We will be going live here in Dirt Sheet Radio soon. Our schedules suck, mine in particular. I got a lot of stuff going on, so that's my bad for the delay. But then Wale Mania, April 4th, Thursday, April 4th, Franklin Music Hall in Philadelphia to kick off WrestleMania weekend. I'll be in the building. It's going to be incredible. They're announcing special guests left and right. They haven't even announced a special guest yet. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Follow me too at the Danny Ocean Show, Instagram and all that good stuff. That's all I got.
They just announced Metaphor for Wale Mania, I thought.
They did. They announced quite a few more people today too. But they're having a special live interview there. And they haven't quite announced who they're interviewing yet, but it's coming.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and go.
Matthew.
Since Danny talking about 3NT, that's where you can catch me. Catch me on 3NT for our next episode, man, whenever we get things coming out. Of course, we're going to have new content coming out before we go live. Of course, I'm going to make sure Danny get to work regardless, because that's what I'm here for. That's what brothers do. You can also follow me at Matthew Malik Wilson, Facebook and Instagram. Make sure, if you're a baseball fan, make sure you also check me out on MLBBro.com. The season has started. It's time to make some content. It's time to make some moves. Appreciate y'all.
Real quick, I want to add in. I'm sorry. Me and WWE 2K24, and if you ever want to get your ass kicked, we're probably gonna get online after this show is over.
Oh, it's
so
happening.
Add us up at the what is my gamer tag? I'm Danny Ocean on PS5, so I can beat your ass. All right, that's it. That's all I had.
Is that cross-platform? Because I've got PC.
Nah, it's not cross-platform, unfortunately. Sad days.
So I was like, I was gonna play, but I'll hop online.
It would get bad for you.
It would get bad because I'd have to get my hands on a PS5 and go through all the updates and download the game.
Yeah, I've gotten kicked out of groups because of 2K before.
We have. This is a thing. This is a thing.
Bad.
Oh man. So CJ Carter at CJ Carter 22 on Twitter. I'm here every Tuesday talking NXT, every Friday night talking SmackDown on the Rewind there. Pay-per-views and live events wherever I can fit them in, and I'm all set for Stand and Deliver in WrestleMania. It's going to be a loaded weekend. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, and at PW Hipster pretty much across the board, except over on Facebook. It is the Pro Wrestling Hipster, like the Ohio State University, but less pretentious. I do a lot of most of my content over there, but you can find me here every Tuesday night breaking down NXT, and then every Monday night breaking down Raw. Always a good time, and doing pay-per-views when we can. And like CJ said, it's going to be a hell of a weekend coming up for Mania weekend. And then we've got the Eclipse that Monday. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a crazy time there for a few days. So stay tuned for crazy things always coming.
Before we go, I just want to say thank y'all. Shout out to all of our new viewers, man. I see y'all. You stood all the way through. You watched us. It's till midnight on some places. So make sure to watch us every single night of the week. Monday for Monday Night Raw, Tuesday for NXT, Wednesday for Dynamite, Thursday for Impact, Friday for SmackDown, Saturday and Sunday on pay-per-views. We are live immediately after every major wrestling show of the week.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yep.
This is the dopest wrestling group on Facebook. I'm gonna just say that.
It's true.
Radio. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell somebody that's not your friend.
That's how you become a friend. Make him your friend. It's wrestling. We should all get along. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Yeet.